Hey, what is up, guys? T-Daisy back here again with another World of Tanks review. This review is gonna conclude our series on the Japanese tech tree. In all honesty, this was not the most gracious grind, in the sense that, the fun tanks all throughout the tiers, but I really can say that from tier 8 and tier 9 all the way now to tier 10 being just the peak of this line, and holy crap, I love this STB-1 so far. Really, just those were the key elements of this line that really helped for the STB-1, and I don't like to say that tier 1 through tier 8, tier 7, excuse me, is not viable for the line, which it definitely is because they're historical and they are. They make sense to be in the line because there's minimal Japanese tanks out there, but at the same time, they don't really prepare you as much for the STB-1. I'm just trying to think and do the recap that I always do through the line, so we'll just go back and do that now. So obviously I started at tier 5, which was the Chinu, and pretty much was an all-around good, sniper tank, pretty much the jack of all trades epitome at tier 5. Didn't have much mobility for medium, but it was mobile enough. It was capped out at a speed, of 38. Had a really good gun. Okay accuracy at .37, but a good rate of fire and decent aim time. Chito was just an improved Chinu, pretty much same exact playstyle, nothing really different about that other than the Model 1 gun, which pretty much just increased everything in the rate of fire and penetration. Then we had the Chi-Ri, which was pretty much an auto-loading tier 7, which, in my opinion, makes it one of the best tier 7 mediums in the game, but at the same time, it does fall into the class of a tier 7 medium, which means that it's going to be mediocre at its tier regardless of what type of gun or anything you have on it, which the two viable guns were the auto-loader and also the same gun from the, I believe, the Chito. So the Chi-Ri was alright, but then we got to tier 8, and damn was the tier 8 really good. It was really just a better DPM, overall mobility and everything Pershing, with the gun depression and just playstyle pretty much. I never researched that historic gun because I didn't really see any point to do that because it's pretty much a piece of shit. But the 90mm on the STA-1 was ridiculous, and I also love the STA-1. Now, the Type 61 almost felt like a, I guess, M60 or M48 type game, the patent playstyle from Tier 10 down at Tier 9, with the APCR 105mm rifled cannon that had pretty much the same gun stats as, let's say, a Tier 9 patent or stuff like that. But it did have the good alpha, the good penetration, and a really good rate of fire, which really made that tank at around like an 8-second reload. So the Type 61 once again followed the same playstyle as the STA-1, a support sniper tank that can flex easily. Wasn't as fast, 47.6 kilometers an hour, but that was not that bad of a grind. Actually used quite a bit of free XP to get this STB-1, which we are going to review now, and let's get on with that. Alright, so now that we got all that previous line review of the tech tree out of the way, let's get on with the actual tank itself. The STB-1 is really one of the best flex tanks in the game, in my opinion. Its DPM is up there, and it's better. I actually think it's the best DPM medium in the game, with full vents, BIA, and consumable. The 430 is close behind that because it did get a significant buff in terms of DPM. However, its overall accuracy on the 430 did get nerfed, but the on-the-move stats were also increased. So, despite that, the STB-1 has the best DPM out of any medium tank in the game with its amazing cannon. Now, I'll get onto the cannon later, but now we'll just do, the basic soft stats of the tank, and pretty much how I am going to explain why it is my favorite tier 10 at the moment. It really is just, I can't really explain other than it fits my playstyle personally as a tanker, the best out of any tank I've ever played. It has sort of almost like a Hellcat type playstyle at tier 10, sort of like a Leo 1, but you're going to be more flexing, and you're going to be using your gun depression and turret armor a lot more than the Leo 1. And it's almost going to be like a mix between the 430 gameplay, which is more like sit back snipe, and then engage when lower health tanks or when you have close heavies nearby, you can actually brawl it out. It's going to be a mixture between that and the Leopard 1 from the German tech tree, which I guess I could bring up the stats of that now, because they actually look quite similar on paper. So the soft stats of the STB-1 as compared to, I guess, the closest tank you can compare it to, the Leopard 1, are as follows. It has the same hit points at 1950 HP. It weighs a little bit less, which kind of makes it a little bit more maneuverable on terrain with the the stats, the invisible stats, which I don't know the exact numbers, but I can tell you right now that it maneuvers better on soft and rough terrain than the Leopard 1 does. Well, that being said, it has a almost 38-ton limit. Well, not limit, but that weighs almost 38 tons as opposed to the Leopard 1's 40. So not much of a difference there, only 2 tons. The engine power is a bit, not as powerful at 750 as opposed to 830. And the top speed is really where it suffers against the Leopard 1, but it is definitely an improvement over the Soviet mediums and obviously the American and English medium tanks. The speed limit is 53 kilometers an hour. Jesus Christ, my words. And the Leopard 1 is 65. So if you look at that, the Leopard 1 is going to win in the sense that in a straight line on perfect terrain, it's going to go quickly. If you're on like a map such as Himmelsdorf or something like that, where you can really just use that perfect terrain to your advantage, where you're just going to go as fast as you can no matter what, you're obviously going to get that better on the Leo 1. Now, the traverse speed is comparable to pretty much any medium in the game. It's definitely a good traverse speed at 52 degrees per second, close behind the Leo at 54. The STB-1 is where it shines as compared to Leo is the turret and actual semi-effective hull armor. Now, when people think of the Leo 1, obviously you're going to auto pen pretty much half of the shots you're taking on it. Even the front is pretty much an auto pen with the 155mm cannons and all that stuff. So as opposed to that, the STB-1 actually has better hull armor at a better slope than the 62A and 140 at 110mm, 35 in the side and 25 in the back. Now obviously your side does get triple overmatched a lot in the STB-1, so side scraping really isn't an option in that tank, and if you're doing that, it's not really the best of options to to consider. But the frontal hull armor is more effective at a flat angle than the 62A and 140, which really makes this tank even a mixture between that tank and the Leo 1 just from paper. But the thing about the STB-1 that I'll show you in the actual model later, it's shorter than most tanks you're going to be facing, so the actual effective frontal hull armor, if it's not angled, isn't going to be as effective because their cannons are going to be looking down at you, creating less of an angle. But the turret armor, if we go back out to here, we can close out the Leopard for now, is 132mm in the front and sides, and then 37 in the back. The 132 is really in the front here and also on the slope. Not really obviously on this upper part or the turret ring, but the front of the turret can take quite a beating from lower tier tanks and even some tier 10s if you are angled. It's got a very nicely angled frontal turret face with a little small spaced armor on the mantlet, but not much there. I guess the only thing that you can really compare this turret to is really Swiss cheese, because the sense that there are so many weak spots on this turret and then so many spots that are so close to the weak spots that are heavily armored. So these actual little spots down here on the turret face, even in here, are not armored really at all. More, I guess you can see the jagged lines where the paint kind of, I guess in the actual model, kind of fades off. Those are actually weak spots. So this little turret face part down here, I guess the turret ring there, and then even if you look closely here on the underside of the gun is all weak. Now up here is a little bit over 132mm because of the sloping, but then you have the little commander's gun here, and also a little weak spot there. Those can be penned pretty easily. The turret gun wrapping is quite durable. Those can actually bounce 152 and 155mm shots. But then you have the auto ricochet sides, which really helps out. So if anyone's looking at you face on and they shoot right here or right there, that's gonna be an auto bounce. However, a lot of people, since they do look down at you, overpen the top of your tank, and they don't even really need to aim for the cupolas because they can overmatch the top of your tank. So obviously armor as a whole is not that much on the STB-1, but it is viable in the sense that you'll get some crazy bounces when brawling it out with people. Service side reticle does take into effect with that, and also people auto aiming and stuff like that. So other soft shell or soft stats on the shells, average damage is the reason why its DPM is so good. I guess I'll go over the gun now. Is because it has pretty much a 6-second reload with the same alpha as the standard 105. So instead of having a 100 like the Soviet mediums, it's almost like a T-54 reload at the tier 9 with a 390 alpha shell. So with APCR as its standard and heat with its premium shell, you get 258 pen with APCR, 330 with the heat, and 53 with HE. And then the average damage, like I said, is 390 with both the APCR and the heat, and then you get 480 with the HE. Now, the one thing that I really only have a semi-complaint about on the STB is its gun handling. Its dispersion, accuracy isn't bad at all, 0.36, but since the nerf, after they released it, its turret rotation dispersion and hull rotation dispersion have been nerfed, I believe, by like 30% or something. So it's still a really good tank, but it's not nearly as quick snapshotty as the Soviet mediums, being the 6020 and the 140. 430 is even comparable to them now because it did get buffed. So the STB, when shooting on the move, is not the best, but it does have a 2.3 second aim time, which is good for such a high alpha and pending gun with such a good rate of fire, and its overall accuracy when sniping is 0.36. So it's pretty much an overall good cannon that really packs a punch with both its DPM and alpha as a medium. So you'll obviously know this cannon from the Type 61, but its attributes are better on the STB as follows. With 7.5 rate of fire. So other than that, only other things to go over really on the stats would be the actual gun reload time at 6.9 seconds, but mine is a little bit lower, I believe, because I have a rammer and stuff. But actual view range is another good thing on this tank. We get 42 degrees per second traverse speed on the turret, which is very good. You have a 410 meter view range, which is as good as the Leopard's. A little bit behind the M60 Patton, but it does have a better camo value, so you'll still spot M60s before they see you. And the radio range is obviously going to be standard at 750. So that's it for the actual soft stats. We'll get into some, I guess, shell stats and also stuff to run on it, and also my favorite camo just to put on it, and crew skills. So stay tuned. Okay, so crew skills, I guess we'll do first. As you guys know, if you've been following my my video series here, I have not gotten the best crew on this because I did use a lot of free XP, which obviously helps with putting out videos, but at the same time your crew will suffer. So I did turn on acceleration on the crew after the Type 61, after the STA. Fucking Twitch, that's gonna be good. Way. Alright, so pretty much here's the crew skills. We got 6 cents on the commander. Obviously start with camo or repairs. What do you want? Fucking Twitch is just spamming me. He'll be very happy to be featured in this video with him and his autism. So pretty much back to the main story. The commander, you want 6 cents, and then you want smooth ride, and then snapshot on the gunner, and then save stowage. This tank does not get ammo rack nearly as much as the Leopard 1, which I guess is a good comparison in terms of paper tanks, if you will, on the its counterpart from the German tree. And obviously, I just got camo because this tank's camo is spectacular when stationary. And also after this, I'm probably going to end up getting BIA once I get my 3rd skill, because I really think that this thing's DPM is just killer, and even with more, it's going to be ridiculous. I don't really see a reason to have repairs on it. I've only been really perma-tracked once in this tank out of, let's see how many games I've had, because it is really not a frontline tank whatsoever, and if you're doing that, you're doing it wrong. So, I guess we'll go over my stats in it really quick. I've played 41 games in it, 61% win rate. Which lots of platooning there. My Arcs of Excellence, I'm really halfway there to the first one. I've got a little bit over 2,500 average damage with, one Top Gun, a lot of vehicle spot. That's another thing. The view range on this tank is spectacular, and a little bit over 1.5 frags per game with 948 average XP. So that's pretty much it for this. We'll just go over these really quick. What I like to run is coated optics, medium caliber gun, tank gun rammer, and a vert stab. Other viable things on this, instead of say coated optics or stabilizer, you could technically run a binox or a vent. So really, anything goes for the equipment. Obviously, don't do stupid things such as like a GLD or like fuel tanks, whoever the hell runs that, or what ammo rack. No one does that. So that's that, and equipment, shell loadout, and consumable loadout, small repair kit, small first aid kit, automatic fire extinguisher. I may actually end up putting these, actually I'm going to do that now because they are on sale. I'm going to put them to the premium consumables, if I can actually find it. Oh my god. So large first aid kit, large first repair, and I guess we got to do automatic fire extinguisher. Pretty much just because they're on sale. So if they're on sale, obviously run the premium consumables, but if they're just normal, you can run small ones. As shells go, obviously turn on resupply automatically for everything. I like to run only 10 heat shells because heat's really unreliable, and they're only good for really close engagements with like even hundreds or mouse tanks. 5 HE, that's even a little excessive, but that DPM against waffles really is detrimental to them. And 35 APCR, because APCR is pretty much the best round in the game, in my opinion. So that's that. Next we'll have some on the fly gameplay. We'll do one game, and then we will also hopefully have another game from maybe when I was streaming or a replay, depending on what it is. So also I forgot to mention that I am gonna try and start streaming again. You know, in the coming days and weeks and months and hopefully years. So if you guys want to go ahead, I have a video on my channel, and you could hopefully follow me on Twitch, and I'll start getting that into completion. So next we'll have the gameplay, and stay tuned. Alright, so this STB is really, I mean, I really can't explain other than it is my favorite tank in that it really just fits my gameplay and my playstyle as much as any other tank in the game. I mean, the Hellcat was a big one, in the sense that I like to sit back and snipe a little bit, but then be aggressive towards the late game and be able to push at certain points. Other tanks that I really enjoy playing that are not necessarily my best, I guess, playstyle comparison would be the 430, definitely one of my top tanks, and also the 121 because of that boomstick. So the STB is pretty much a comparison of both. So we're going to go ahead and do some gameplay. I've actually switched out the large repair kit for a small repair kit because of the credit sync, and I'm down to like 45,000 credits. So we're going to go ahead and try out a game on the West server, hopefully get a decent matchup, and see what we can do. So the queue may take a little bit. I mean, there's no promises. XVM has been down lately. Let me just check if the network error is still down. Which it does. It says active, so hopefully it's still up, and we'll be able to check that on when we get into game. So the STB really plays out almost like a Leopard and 62A combined into one, and this is a very good map to showcase that. If I get southern spawn on this particular map, Hidden Village, I'm really just gonna go into the the small city and snipe it out. But we do get the northern spawn, so we're gonna have to be a little bit on the conservative side. We might be able to push up to A8 if we get a lot of friend tanks like the E50M or Batchat doing that. I'm gonna try and see if this Centurion can come with me because he has similar characteristics, and he can actually be a support tank for me. So with this, we've got a very good matchup. It's pretty much even. I mean, it's a couple blue players on each side, and it's overall a really good matchup. So you can see right away that this tank is very zippy. It gets up there. Look at this. I'm just as fast as the WZ-132 in acceleration. Top speed, obviously, it's governed at 55. But we're going to see what we can do. Now, since that WZ is going middle, I'm going to cross over to over here and use my gun depression and hopefully get some sniper shots in. So a lot of times you can actually use these little berms here to get into and spot some people who actually try and go up the back way, such as over there. There's one. And get a nice shot on that WZ. I do get spot, obviously, and they have one artillery, so I'm just going to pull back and reset my camo. E50M is being ballsy. Hopefully he doesn't get killed. But if by the looks of it, he might pull back, which he's doing. So First blood. FE got a nice shot on the scout there. So I'm actually going to move up into another spot I like near these little, I like to call it the patio place, because there's almost like little patio blocks over here. And also pretty good berms that you can cover yourself in these little pond areas. So this is a good support spot for mid, and you also have these little, if you will, rubble pieces that will secure 25 penetration from you. if they're trying to shoot your turret or something. But by the looks of it, all their mediums are in here, so I'm going to go engage and use my DPM. Shot on that Patton. He's completely tunnel visioning, so we're going to get right up into him. He's shot, and we're going to get the kill. Now we're going to go flank these medium tanks. There may be a few TDs, but we'll take that chance. So here's the mega flank maneuver, which really is just the bliss of this map. I mean, if someone gets bogged down in here, you really can just manhandle them. A nice shot on the T-54. We're going to get a ram on him. But hopefully he shoots this Patton, as this T-54 really has higher health, and he's going to get rammed. So here we go, get a shot on this Patton. He's already dead. So now we pretty much have free range to get into the base, and already just missed. Appreciate it, 50-120 or 50B, whatever the hell that was. Artillery's up, Wheezy's going to kill him, we're going to go flank around town. They do still have quite a lot of TDs, so that's going to be scary. Two of the E4s are spotted, but then they have what looks to be a T-95 and 268 also. So I'm actually going to get through the middle here. See if I can get shots on this Lorraine when he pushes through, if he does. Oh, E100. I'm going to get into the berm, make sure that I have a hold down position, and snipe these guys as they come through. Now they already are through, so I'm going to go ahead and actually flank them. So you can just see that pretty much I haven't done really that much in this game in terms of brawling or getting into their face. I mean, I did take a little bit of damage from that T-54, which I was willing to trade. But at the same time, it's just the alpha on this tank. I have almost 2k damage in 5 hits. And really that 3 of those hits were in the beginning of the game, so it really does not... you know, you can play... That's one of the good things about this tank. You can play really conservatively and still get your DPG and do really well, because you can actually get higher damage per shot. So I got a really nice roll on that E4 of 405, and now we're going to go kill this Lorraine already. We're up to 3 kills, and look, by the looks of it, our actual southern flank fell, so we're going to have to go flank these guys, which they're not looking at us. By the looks of it, the 268 is turning, but I'm going to spot him, hopefully. Shoot his rangefinder. Little 372 roll. E50M should hit the 268 one more time, or already will. I bounced the kill shot, and I'm going to angle. Probably going to get penned by him. Take another shot. Got 4 kills. We're actually going to stop here and see if we can get Top Gun, because this has been pretty much a really good game. One shot on the E100. E50M took him. Looks like Top Gun's out of the question now, but I really should have held that shot, but whatever. I'm not sure what this Conqueror is trying to accomplish. Already, hopefully we'll hit him, the Scrubs United guy. He's a pretty good player. I'm gonna get around so he can't use his gun depression. Make sure his E50M rams him, because that'll be fun to get on camera. Ram! I'll do it. Way. Totally worth. Oh no! Don't kill me. Alright, good. That's pretty much this game. 4 kills, around 4k damage. It's an average STB game for me. T95, whopping -1 damage, or kills rather, and hopefully negative damage. But you know, we just get a few cap points here, pad that stats, yo. You know, that's just a basic West server game. We'll go over the after battle ports now, but that really just shows how this tank flexes and how you really don't have to be overly aggressive in it, and let other people do the spotting for you. You can do spotting for yourself late game, but that's really all you need to do is flex in, pick your routes that pretty much obviously have the least amount of damage taken. By me getting into that T44 or T54, it actually turned him, so they were able to destroy that Patton pretty easily. You can see right here, they only got like 3-4 shots off each of them. Yeah, 3 shots each. So that's really that. If we look at the stats as a whole, I got the most damage. I don't think I got the most XP. Batchat did a lot of spotting damage, so he got a little bit more XP. Mouse looks like did some good damage and damage soaking up there in the north. Other than that, there wasn't really. I mean, that really just that's actually one of the you know, most perfect I guess showcases I've had on the run here, just doing it with no replay. Because in my earlier games and earlier tanks in this line, they're really iffy, and they're not always, you don't always get a map or matchup that's perfect for this tank, but really that Hidden Village map is great for this STB. I did showcase a few of my favorite spots on that map, the berms at the front southern flank, and also that like little patio place in back of that like little church or hut or whatever that was near the pond. And also the little flanking route through mid, which really we performed 3 separate pincers on that map, which was obviously gonna make us do a steamroll, which we only lost, 5 tanks, so 15 to 5. That's enough jabber and bleh, whatever, talking about this particular game. We'll hopefully have one more game with like maybe Top Gun or 6 kills, 7 kills, or a lot of damage next. So stay tuned for that. Hope you like this first gameplay, and really I encourage you guys to send in your replays just as always, and stay tuned for the next one. Alrighty guys, so this second gameplay is a very interesting gameplay where me and I'm Twitch53 were platooned up. He's another Reddit member on Karelia. So if you look here, they have pretty much even teams going. It says 49%, but it's pretty much just even. They have an Aces platoon and a lot of artillery in this game. So what it really comes down to is the flex of the STB in combination with the sniping and all that good stuff. So me and Twitch, I guess not Twitch, but pretty much I decide to go towards the donut, and I really am trying to, this was one of my early games in the STB-1, and I was really trying to check out its mobility, and really just see if it can actually get up into that donut, and all the way up to the top, just like a Batchat or Leo 1 can. So if I'm not mistaken, I believe one of these, or actually this replay was featured in one of my streams. So if any of you guys are watching that, you probably would have seen this already. So they have a crap ton of lights, and I really, I'm the last one getting up here, but I do get a snapshot on the 50B. And the Batchat comes up here, so I get one shot on him, and now the T-49, and this Leopard kind of screws me out, and I end up getting shot by him. But that tank right there is just, oh my god, that tank is hilarious. So he HEs me in the front. I already have around 1200 damage to make that 1600, as the 5100 bounces the tank in front of me, and I'm able to let that E5 take a shot from me. So really what we're doing now is we're trying to secure the hill as well as make sure that we can kill these guys, but I make a little mistake here as I let the Jagdtiger shoot me and kill my driver. But I really need to get this IS-7 down. He is side-scraping, but I'm actually below him by a little bit, in the sense that I can actually pen through his drive wheel into the top of his tank while keeping him tracked. So I'm able to do that a couple times before he finally uses his repair kit, and now we're pretty much losing this engagement. So they have ripped all of our tanks up there, and it's really me and the E5. The IS-8 has already pulled back, IS-3 has already pulled back, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm either going to die trying, or I just got to get the hell out of here. So as the T-71 comes up, I'm talking to Twitch here in TS, and he's killing this E5. So I decide I got to get the hell out of here. I take a snapshot on this T-71, however he does get away, and now I'm the only one left. So by the looks of it now, it's 2-6, and our north really isn't pushing. This game pretty much looks over. Now I do have around 2500 damage. I do take a shot here, I'm pretty sure, by the Yag. There we go, in the butt. As I run away, another shot misses, and that kind of saves me from death. But that just shows, again, this mobility in the flex tank, how I'm able to just bolt the hell out of there before any of those tanks can really push me. And mind you, I was spotted the whole time because I did get shot a couple times, or shot at a couple times, but the Jagdtiger did hit me for around 600 damage. So WZ-132 is duking it out with our PZ-4 Waffle as he dies. And we're slowly coming back. I mean, I don't have the HP mod right now, but it does make a difference. Really, to what the end of this game turns out to be, because believe it or not, we actually have a lot of those tanks on hill at lower health, so that really ends up helping. So Twitch decides to push north because everyone's pretty much spotted down south. We dual shot the Panther 2, and now it's 4-6. So what I'm really wondering right now is whether I should go through middle and chance it, but what do we see? We see a STA-1 full health, so I'm not going to even try to do that, even though he's a bad player. I'll still get killed by him if I try. So I take a shot on him, completely miss, as somehow he manages to shoot me when I'm completely behind a rock. Not sure if that was even the STA-1, it might have been like a 5100 on hill, but at this point, I just want to stay safe. So there is artillery, so I get behind this rock, and I try and outspot this STA, but he's pretty much just camping the same spot. So Twitch is up north with the Ferdinand. The Ferdinand, if he really flexed back to base, that would help, but at this point, I get spotted. I think I'm going to die. I'm like screaming on TeamSpeak, and I'm like, oh shit. But I actually make it away, and I decide to stop and, you know, play around, and there are the arties. It's exactly what I was waiting for, and he completely whiffed. So, you know, playing it like that sometimes helps out. Just stopping randomly or moving around, not staying still, as there another one misses. So, I take it that I'm not spotted at this point, so Twitch and I are going to plan to either push north or get some lights. There's only really a Centurion 7-1 at that part, and they have just broke through south. So our M5355 is not running, and he's most likely going to be boned. Now, we do have some arty support. Our arty's done an okay job this game. Conks landed a few hits down south. But really at this point, it's not looking too good. Twitch has the most of the HP, Ferdinand's got full HP, and so does the Waffle 9. So we really are looking in business here. So Batjack comes YOLOing up down the 0 lines, kills them 53-55, and the Waffle 4 and I are really going to have to deal with him. So we do get the 50, or was that, Centurion 7-1 spotted, and the Ferdinand's dealing with him. So Twitch is going to go, come back with me, hopefully support, and there's the STA in mid. So Twitch decides to stop, aim in on him, and shell him down. I get some shots here. RNG screws me out on that shot. However, Twitch, I believe, gets a no damage pen on that shot, so he needs to reload. And I finished the STA-1 for him. So Centurion 7-1 is still alive. Twitch, by the way, is ammo racked, it looks like, 42 seconds on a 57 heavy. So I'm going to go ahead and speed this up a little bit just for video's sake and time's sake, as the Centurion is killed by the Ferdy. Now that kill actually, on, you know, just looking here, that actually means a lot, because if the Ferdinand was to die to the 7-1, he would just flank us and this game would be over quickly, because Twitch is ammo racked. At this point, they just have 3 arty and a couple of guys down south, and that really, once we kill a few of these guys, we should be able to win. So Batchat gets boned by that 53-55 as he, you know, isn't able to kill him. So 50B gets spotted as he peeks over, and now I decide to engage him. This is a do or die situation here, because if I miss, he's gonna kill me. If he misses, I'm gonna kill him. So I reverse, time it perfectly. He completely whiffs. I kill him. He has good sportsmanship. You know, says nice, whatever. So, you know, good engagement there. 2 artillery missed. Looks like the 3rd one is out of range. And there's the Ag Tiger spotted by the Ferdy. We get perfect snipe shots on him, as this, you know, dispersion isn't really that good on this tank, but it really helps out. So he's killed by Twitch, and we'll speed this up. Really seals the deal there. I mean, technically the artillery could come back and win it, but that's a long shot. Twitch has pretty much full health. Ag Tiger was able to kill that Ferdinand, and damn, he did actually a really good job up there in north. Waffle kills the 53-55, who was YOLOing up the south, as we were trying to find these other 2 artillery. 53-55 does the honors, YOLOs down the middle, and hopefully gets Invader, because I believe he ends up capping. So another GWE down south. Waffle Tractor E100 is going, or Waffle 9 is going to engage him, as they're both down there. So, you know, M53-55 is capping. I believe the Waffle actually does not end up killing them. Yep, he gets shotgunned, and I'm working my way over here. So, you know, a little bit over 3k damage. Just a really good tactical game. You know, not much actual bullying there. It was a really close game, and came down to really me and Twitch, and also that Waffle 9 and Artillery all working together and coordinating you know, the right pushes and just letting it play out. So GWE completely misses, and I'm actually able to kill him with HE for 1 damage, which really is the icing on the cake, because that's just, that's funny right there. So 53-55 is over here. I end up thinking, yeah, I think that 53-55 gets away, and by the end here, you're going to be really surprised. He goes completely around our Conch GC and completely around our base, to the point where he's pretty much all the way on the A line. So 53-55 gets Invader on this game, and there he is at A6. Don't know how that tank just hauls ass. So that's the game for you. A little bit over 3k damage, like I said. We'll have the after battle reports next. There'll probably be screenshots, and then we'll just have some closing thoughts. Alright, so closing off this review of the STB-1, it really is a great tier 10 medium tank with great flexing capabilities and also a heavy hitting cannon. Downsides to this tank are really its armor scheme. Turret armor is kind of like Swiss cheese. I mean, sometimes it pens, sometimes it doesn't, really unpredictable. And really just the gun dispersion. That's really the only, I guess, nerf, if you will, that happened to this tank pre-release. It was pretty overpowered on the test server, and it's still really good. It has a high win 8 threshold, which really means that you're going to have to be good in the tank in order to pad stats in it, but that's to be expected. Other than that, it's just a really good tank. I'm actually going to give it a 9.5 out of 10, because it is pretty much the best tank that fits my characteristics as a tanker and playstyle. Best out of any tank I've ever played in the game so far. So just keep that in mind. It's a really good flanker and sniper if you're willing to deal with the dispersion. And really hope you guys like this review. Not much to go over other than the sense that it's a great tank. And that's really it. Hope you guys like this review. Comment, rate, subscribe, and happy tanking.